In this video, I'm going to be talking about my December truck update. We're going to go through maintenance I did, any modifications, and mileage I drove. Let's get into it. Oh, it's snowy out here. What do you expect? Moving to Colorado. In the month of December, and I'm lumping November in there because between November and December, I really didn't have to do a lot of maintenance because I wasn't driving that much. It was snowing a lot. It was super icy. And so, yeah, I just wasn't driving, was doing my remote job. For modifications, I didn't have any in November, December, but we did have some maintenance. So on the truck, I did do a tire rotation at about 189,000 miles. Tires are definitely getting down there. I probably have about 6 30-seconds left, maybe 5 30-seconds on the outside. I've been trying for the last year to run a bit more aggressive toe on my front axle, and that's resulted in much better handling, but also the outer portion of the tires is wearing a lot faster. So my plan this year is to back off the toe a little bit just so I can get a bit more longevity out of the tires. I am going to be getting some new tires and I have them ordered and decided, but as part of a larger January 2025 refresh or rebuild of the truck, I am not going to say what those are. You'll have to wait and see. I also have a bunch of other big mods I'm going to be doing. So be sure you subscribe if you haven't so that you get notifications when that video comes out because it's going to be really sick. I'm like super stoked about it. So the other thing I did that was kind of annoying was the plastic bung that holds my CCV reroute hose together broke. And I think it was just the heat cycles and probably the stress of the road. But I had to replace that because the other one snapped after about 80,000 miles. And so, you know, it's one of those things where it's a small thing. It's not that inexpensive a part, but you know, you'd hope a company making stuff like SPE would do a bit better job and maybe make that out of metal. I don't know. So if it breaks again, I think what I'm going to do is go to the hardware store and just get like a brass hose fitting or a brass bung for it. And I'm just going to put that in because it'll last way longer. As far as mileage goes, we are at 193,755. Yeah, so over the last 2 months, I've driven about 5,000 miles. It's nowhere near to what I was doing before when I was doing RV transport, but it's been nice to be home more and just have a little bit less wear and tear on the truck. I'm going to be doing some skiing here in Colorado and working, and I have a big maintenance refresh I'm going to be doing on the truck because pretty much everything is due, and I was waiting to get here because my brother lives in Colorado and we're going to do a big sesh. One thing I did want to talk about as an update, I know a while ago I made a YouTube short complaining about the fact that my upper oil pan was seeping again. And I did add some dye to my oil. That was a suggestion by Bearded Ford Tech. So far, I haven't seen any more seepage. It's really weird. Like and it was definitely coming from the pan, but I did scrub it a bit and clean it off. So any new leak that would come down. So it's either seeping really, really slowly or I don't know. I guess it could have been something else. You know, I had a couple folks say that maybe it was like a turbo, like an oil line on the turbo, or there was like other things it could be. But given that I've already had to have my pan resealed by the dealer, it's like, and the fact that so many of you have also had that same issue, I'm like, it's probably just the pan seeping, weeping, you know, leaking, whatever you want to call it. So the solution I'm going to use for that, because it's, you know, I'm not losing any measurable amount of oil. In fact, the truck's probably producing oil faster than it's leaking out, is just to, yeah, just keep an eye on it, but just run it. And I mean, the truck's still running great. I think initially I was really upset because, you know, when you have a truck that doesn't leak any fluids, you're like really stoked. You're like, yeah, you know, 190,000 miles, doesn't leak any fluids. Like we're dialed, we're doing our maintenance. And then you find something like that and it's like, oh, why? It's just so frustrating. But I will keep an eye on that. I will keep you updated as to what happens whether we decide to go down the repair rabbit hole. I did mention too that I'd found, so the reason I found the upper pan leak was I was also looking and inspecting my transcooler lines, because I had a friend back home, he has the same generation truck I do, and was like, hey, if you have the steel transcooler line still, you should, consider taking a look at them, because they'll rust underneath the clamp. And he was right. It's crazy. Like, the plastic clamp that holds the lines in traps like salt and stuff. And so when you spray your undercarriage, like I'm pretty good at spraying under there, and it doesn't get it all out. And so the lines are in like perfect condition until you get to the clamp and they're starting to rust. So I did buy SPE's, their braided nylon transcooler line kit, and I'm going to be replacing those with that, which should be much better. That's going to do it. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting the channel. I appreciate you spending your time watching my videos, and I hope it was helpful. If you have any suggestions or feedback, please leave me a comment below, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.